here, Taz Scott. Thank you guys so much for the added horn section. I really appreciate that. Listen, we got a great show planned. I'm honored that Dr. P.L. Da Silva, Worldwide with P.L. Da Silva, is what we are going to be talking about. At least one day a week, we try to crisscross the entire planet to find out, one, what's going on, but number two, the role that the United States is playing, particularly in this hour, towards, quite frankly, the disunion of the social fabric of the planet. And I can't think of anyone who knows that better than Dr. P.L. Da Silva, who has over 20 years of experience, backroom diplomacy, mediation. I start to say meditation, mediation and negotiation. That too, the producer says. He has taught politics, international relations, and several undergraduate programs at universities in New York, New Jersey, Long Island, Queen's University of Belfast, in Northern Ireland. Dr. Da Silva's publications include Postmodern Insurgencies, Political Violence, Identity Formation, and Peacemaking, Comparative Perspective. He's co-founder with Professor W.D. Lakshman, former Vice Chancellor, University of Colombo, of the International War-Related Trauma and Humanitarian Intervention Trust, setting up psychosocial training programs for practitioners serving combatants, non-combatants during Sri Lanka's civil war. Dr. Da Silva, welcome forward to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show.
Thank you so much, Jesse. I'm glad to be on the show.
I am so honored that you are here. I so look forward to the time that we spend together. Dr. Da Silva brings some of the most amazing guests to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show, and joining us in this hour will also be Dr. Kim Shipes. Shipes is a global labor scholar who has published 4 books, 2 monographs, 1 edited collection, and a compilation with another monograph currently in press, as well as over 290 articles and book review essays in peer-reviewed and specialty journals, general interest magazines, websites, local newspapers in the United States, and in 11 other countries. He specializes, now listen to this carefully, in building global labor solidarity and challenging the AFL-CIO's international operations, which operate against this global labor solidarity. He served twice elected chair in 2011 to 2015 of the Chicago chapter of the National Writers Union, AFL-CIO. He has done extensive field research on Philippine and labor in the Philippines, at least 10 trips to date, and there is so much more about Kim that we're going to talk about in this hour. Kim, welcome forward to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show.
Well, thank you. I'm delighted to be here.
I am so honored that you're here. Dr. Da Silva, please welcome Kim to our show, and let us begin our conversation. We have about 1 minute before we come forward. I'm told, my producer shouting over here at me, that we have 2 minutes. We have 2 minutes. Dr. Shipes, welcome to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show.
Yes. So my brother Kim Shipes and we first met in 1990 in the Netherlands at the Institute of Social Studies, which is now part of Erasmus University. Kim has always been a labor solidarity guy. You know, he's an activist. He's been a scholar. He's a professor emeritus. He's done a lot of things. And there's no one better to talk about what's happening in the United States today and in your town, Chicago, with regard to how the labor movement in the United States should unify and respond as in the times gone by during the civil rights movement. So, Dr. Shipes, I'd love for you to give us some of your thoughts, a minute and a half.
Okay, well, let's talk about a couple of things happening in the world today. I mean, the biggest thing is around Palestine, and what we're seeing is that labor unions, particularly in Italy, but also in Spain, I believe some in Greece and stuff, are leading the resistance to shipping arms and weapons to Israel. There have been major demonstrations. There were just last week, I think, 1 million in Madrid, Spain, and about 300,000 people in the streets in Barcelona, Spain. You know, things that we don't get told around the world. At the heart of this, which is also not told us, are labor unions, and basically the European unions are really coming together on this. There's a whole network of port unions in particular. They are saying that if you touch the recent grouping of ships that went to Israel, which the Israelis did, that there would be reactions, and there've been strikes, there've been port shutdowns and things like that. That's exciting to me, and we don't hear anything about this.
Well, we're about to. We're about to on KBLA Talk 1580. PL De Silva is our very special guest, and so is Dr. Sipes. We are going to come forward on KBLA Talk 1580 for our longest 20-minute segment, and we're going to unload with Dr. Kim Sipes. I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. More when we come forward.
While you're stuck in traffic, we can at least bring you up to speed on the news of the day. You're listening to Jesse Jackson Jr. only on KBLA Talk 1580.
With Robinhood, not only can you trade individual stocks and ETFs, you can also seamlessly buy and sell crypto at low costs. Trade all in one place. Get started now on Robinhood. Trading crypto involves significant risk. Crypto trading is offered through an account with Robinhood Crypto LLC. Robinhood Crypto is licensed to engage in virtual currency business activity by the New York State Department of Financial Services. Crypto held through Robinhood Crypto is not FDIC insured or SIPC protected. Investing involves risk, including loss of principal. Securities trading is offered through an account with Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC, a registered broker-dealer.
Dude, did you order the new iPhone 17 Pro? Got it from Verizon, the best 5G network in America. I never looked so good.
You look the same.
But with this camera, everything looks better, especially me.
You haven't changed your hair in 15 years. Selfies? Check, please.
New and existing customers can get the new iPhone 17 Pro, designed to be the most powerful iPhone ever, with eligible phone trade-in and unlimited ultimate. Any condition guaranteed. Best 5G source root metrics data, United States, 1H 2025. All rights reserved. Trade-in and additional terms apply for all offers. See Verizon.com for details.
Ready to order?
Yes. We're earning unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver Card. So let's just get one of everything.
Everything?
Fire everything. The Capital One Saver Card is at table 27, and they're earning unlimited 3% cash back.
Yes, chef! This is so nice.
Had a feeling you'd want 3% cash back on dessert.
Ooh, tiramisu.
Earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver Card. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Hey, KBLA 1580 delegation, your health matters to us. We know that information is power, especially when it comes to prevention and treatment. That's why we're proud to introduce the brand new KBLA Health and Wellness Hub. This online space is built just for you, connecting our community to trusted health resources, culturally relevant care, and even access to diverse clinical trials and emerging therapies. Whether you're looking for information on common conditions, mental health support, or just want to stay on top of your wellness journey, we got you. And the best part, it's all on our website at KBLA1580.com. Accessible, empowering, community-focused. So just go to KBLA1580.com and click on the Health and Wellness Hub icon, because knowledge is power and your health is everything. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Now back to more of Jesse Jackson Jr. on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. on the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. Welcome forward to KBLA Talk 1580. Our very special guest, worldwide, with PL De Silva. Dr. De Silva is one of our consistent contributors on issues confronting not only the United States, but the entire planet. And today I'm particularly honored that he brought a very special guest, Dr. Kim Sipes, who retired in May of 2022, but remains active as a scholar, writer, and activist. In March of 2023, he received the Purdue University Northwest Outstanding Faculty Engagement Award for his years of service to his community, both on and off campus. And just before the break, Dr. Sipes, I'm about to give you a countdown on what's going on around the planet, because you have 20 minutes between you and to do your thing live until we get to the hard 30. Here we go. We're covering the world. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Dr. Sipes.
All right. Well, I was saying before the break that one of the things going on is in Europe, particularly Southern Europe, There's massive mobilizations against weapons being shipped to Israel, and trade unions have been right at the heart of it. So this has been happening all over the Mediterranean. I think it's going to expand. However, in the United States, on the other hand, there has been no mobilization. There's been no efforts to block shipping across the East or Gulf ports. And at the same time, we've seen the Trump administration do a massive assault on the federal government employees, and that's going on. And there has been absolutely no mobilization to stop that. In fact, the AFL-CIO leadership has basically disappeared. And so you've got these questions of what's going on over there versus what's going on here, and it's a big difference.
Dr. Sipes, let me ask you a question. Labor right now is passing out a lot of checks to candidates running for office. But what you just shared with us is that labor in Europe is trying to stop weapons into Israel. But here in the United States, you're suggesting that the AFL-CIO, that is pushing a lot of checks to Democratic candidates, are not fighting for government workers. They are not engaged in the same struggle that labor abroad is engaged in.
Absolutely right.
What's happening there? I mean, how do we explain that?
Okay, I can explain.
So much for solidarity.
Right. No, it's going to take a minute, but I can explain this.
Time is yours.
Okay. All right. Now, what we have to understand, in my opinion, now I'm going to make some generalizations. And obviously with generalizations, this doesn't apply to everybody or every union or whatever, but I'm trying to give an overall viewpoint. And I say that so if any of your listeners hear me bad talking labor movements or putting out stuff that doesn't sound right to them, they don't have to take it on. So give me a little slack here because I'm going to lay this out. Okay. I would argue that since 1949, we have not had a labor movement in the United States. What we've had is a trade union movement. Now, why I can say this, and I'll explain the difference first. Let me explain the difference. All right, so by labor movement, I'm talking about organizations that are intended to look out for and fight for the interests of all working people, whether they're in unions or not. But this has this broad, if you will, a class-wide basis. Okay, we used to have this up to 1949, and I'll go there in a second. But what we've had since then is a trade union movement that basically only looks out after members of trade unions. It's a much more conservative thing. Now, what happened, and this is based on a book I've got coming out this year. It was the basis for my PhD dissertation, is that when we go back into U.S. history, a lot of people, a lot of progressives in particular, focus on the CIO years. So this is roughly 1933 to 1955, oftentimes called the New Deal era. I think that's too limited. But anyway, the idea of the labor movement at that time, or the idea of most people that have about the CIO, is that it was a monolithic labor movement. It included blacks and other people of color, which labor movement had not generally had before this time period. But it was a monolithic progressive labor movement and fought for good things. Now, what I did in my PhD dissertation is I looked at the unionization of steel and meat packing in the Chicago area. So this is a comparative historical study of unionization of steel and meat packing in the same area with the same, drawn from the same workforces. So that's mainly white ethnics from Eastern and Southern Europe, African Americans from the rural South, and some Mexicans. They were both in both unions, but the unions operated differently. And what I looked at is how they address the issues of white supremacy and racism. And what I find, and this is good, I mean, people are going to be blown away when they read this book. It's really good. I'm very proud of it. The idea is that what we had was the steel workers ignored these issues. okay, where the packing house workers took it on. And I don't even know if you know this, Jesse, but in 1939, in good old racist segregated Chicago, 8 out of 14 local packing house workers unions were headed by African Americans. 1939. They took this on and they addressed racism and white supremacy dead on. The steelworkers, on the other hand, ignored it. So by developing this, what I show is there was not just one perspective to the CIO, but there were two. One was progressive and one was reactionary within the CIO. Now, after World War II, the reactionaries came together. A key actor was Walter Reuther, the auto workers, and Phil Murray of the steel workers. And they came together and they turned against the more progressive forces. Now, they claimed the progressive forces were just all communists. In reality, there were communists in there, but they were anarchists. There were socialists of all different types. But it was a broader left. And so they turned against the left and forced them out. And they got rid of 750,000 to 1 million workers. Okay. The labor movement has never been the same. And so that's why I say we've only had a trade union movement since that time. They focus on improving the lives and working conditions of union members, but they've lost that consideration of what's going on in the larger world or among even American workers that weren't in unions. Okay, so basically, and along with that, one of the things that these trade unions have in general never done, and that's provide education to their members. So they've never tried to educate workers about anything more than, say, fighting for shop stewards' rights or how to be a good steward or something like that. But no idea of this larger world. They've accepted accepted the ruling elite's idea that the United States is just another country, when in reality it's not. It hasn't been, especially since 1945.
Professor,
well,
let me answer. Let me just inject a question here, if I might, for a moment.
Sure.
So from our perspective, from my perspective, and my read on history, so there is this slave labor system, and this question of labor through Reconstruction, which includes sharecropping and who we're going to allow in the labor movement. And then this struggle that includes Pullman and the Pullman porters over our participation in the labor movement. And to your analysis, the labor movement over time becomes trade unionism. And the trade union movement, which, by the way, primarily operates today, but it operates off of the fumes of the old labor movement and refers to its history as the labor movement. But what is taking place in trade unionism is a little bit different. It's just enough to be different to not be a genuine organization of working people who are complaining about the quality of their lives. Talk to me, Dr. Shipes. Am I right or wrong?
Yeah, I think you're pretty close. I mean, the big thing is the question of how, especially during the CIO years, was how the unions were going to be organized. Were they going to be top down and controlled by the leadership, or bottom up, democratically controlled by their members? And it worked out that the reactionary unions were controlled from the top down, but the progressive unions were from the bottom up and genuinely run by the workers.
Help our listeners. Would that be A. Philip Randolph from the bottom up?
Randolph would be from the bottom up, but Randolph was earlier. See, he was all the sleeping car porters were established, I think, mainly in the 20s. Okay, and I'm talking 30s. So we're talking later. And this is a CIO which was headed by John L. Lewis.
Yes.
And Lewis was a tremendous orator and proponent of working people in his rhetoric. basically what he was doing was using this rhetoric, help encourage workers to organize. But once they signed a union contract, then Lewis clamped down on them and wanted them to go, didn't want them to solve problems on their own on the shop floor. He wanted them to go file a 5-step grievance program and all this. And it was very, but that's still, you still have that broad left in there, as well as the conservatives and everybody across the board. But it's after 1949. See, the progressives get forced out. And so you've gone back to basically this top-down, leadership-dominated trade union movement. Okay, now, and that's the larger organization. We call it was the American Federation of Labor, and then the CIO, the Congress on Industrial Relations. And in 1955, they merged to become AFL-CIO.
Brother Kim,
yeah.
Brother Kim, I'd like you to fast forward for our viewership about what's going on today in Chicago. Today in Chicago, we have the National Guard coming in. What do you think that the union movement, the labor union movement, the trades union movement should do to protect democratic rights?
Well, they should be mobilizing their members, getting out there and challenging this, etc. Now, I went to, we celebrated Labor Day in September. I went to Chicago. I'm about 60 miles outside of town. I drove into Chicago for that. And what I saw, now here's President Trump making all these threats to come into Chicago. And I thought, or I'd hoped anyway, to see a major mobilization. What I saw was about 3,000 people. They look like activists to me. And you have to distinguish between activists and members. So activists are people that are, they're looking out for these larger issues. They're the ones that are pushing the good things. But because the unions aren't educating their members, they don't have any real membership backup. So it's just, progressive activists within the labor movement are showing up. And that's who showed up on Labor Day. There were no, like the head of the Federation of Labor did not speak, as far as I know. They had a poor sound system, which is insane because we have this great stagehand union that handles all these concerts and stuff. They know how to do sound, and we had a crappy sound system there on Labor Day. But there was no real talk about organizing, of going out, of educating our members, of mobilizing them to come out, why they should come out, what Trump was doing. So there was nothing like this that I heard or saw when I was there. Okay. Now, the reason for this, I believe, is most of these trade union leaders are afraid of their members getting them active and then them getting out of hand. So they don't do this. So there's been, as far as I can tell, I'm not living in Chicago, I'm a ways away now, like I said, but as far as I can tell, there's no mobilization, there's no education, there's nothing going on. They're sitting on their hands. And there may be a few exceptions in there, and I applaud them, but mostly it's nothing going on in Chicago. And that's parallel at the national level because the AFL-CIO itself is doing nothing to protect these union workers that Trump is just coming in and saying, boom, you've lost your job. That's insane. Now, what they are... Yeah,
Dr. Sipes, I've got to go forward on KBLA Talk 1580. This is the bottom of the hour for us. But I can tell you something. You keep talking, you're going to talk your way right into a radio show. I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. on KBLA Talk 1580. More with Dr. Sipes and PL to Sylvia when we come forward.
The biggest names, the best conversations. You're riding with Jesse Jackson Jr. on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. Tensions are rising between President Trump and Illinois leaders as the White House considers invoking the Insurrection Act to deploy troops in U.S. cities. Trump blasted Democratic Governor J.B. Pritzker and Chicago's Black Mayor Brandon Johnson for failing to protect ICE officers.
I've seen the law, and when you have a group of people where the police call off the safety for ICE officials. I've understood that, and I've read it today in numerous journals, that that's illegal.
Texas National Guard troops have already arrived in Chicago. Black House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries is slamming Congressman Mike Lawler, calling him a malignant clown and a total fraud after a heated Capitol hallway exchange over the Affordable Care Act. And a judge says Sean Diddy Combs cannot choose where he serves his 50-month sentence, but recommends placement near New York City in a substance abuse program. Get BIN News now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Think It Up is an initiative to activate student-powered, teacher-led learning projects. Students and teachers, how can you spark great learning experiences in your classrooms today? Join at thinkitup.org.
Is this the time? This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Dodgers will have to play the Philadelphia Phillies at least one more time to advance to the National League Championship Series. The Phillies avoided elimination Wednesday night with an 8-2 victory at Dodger Stadium. Game 4 in the best-of-5 is today at 3 p.m. Laker legend Magic Johnson will be the Grand Marshal for the Rose Bowl parade on New Year's Day. Magic will lead the 137th annual parade on January 1st. Later that day, Magic will participate in the coin toss for a college football playoff quarterfinal game scheduled to be played at the Rose Bowl. The next time you go to the Lakers website, take a moment to watch a video called Forever Iconic, Purple and Gold Always. The 90-second tribute to the Lakers was produced by Natalia Bryant, Kobe's oldest daughter. The video is Natalia's first film project since she graduated from USC School of Cinematic Arts in May. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
Hello, KBLA delegation. Tavis Smiley here. On Saturday, October 25th, LA Trade Tech becomes the epicenter of ideas that matter. The Left Coast Forum is bringing together voices that challenge, inspire, and illuminate with keynote presentations from people like noted economist Richard Wolff, the man who breaks down capitalism in ways that make sense to working folk like you and me, and Dr. Cornel West will be there, the brilliant philosopher and activist who never stops fighting for justice and speaking truth to power and to the powerless for that matter. So this isn't just another conference. This is where ideas get tested, where the conversations that shape our future begin. Multiple plenary sessions, dynamic speakers, real talk about the issues that impact our communities, and then some good food and a live band. Saturday, October 25th, LA Trade Tech, Left Coast Forum. The event is free and open to the public, but you must register at our KBLA1580.com website, where you can also peep the plenary topics. The future belongs to those who show up and engage. So don't just think about change, be part of the conversation that creates it. The Left Coast Forum is brought to you by the LA Progressive, the Empowerment Congress, Community Coalition, Partnership for Growth LA, Southwest Voter Registration Education Project, LA Care Health Plan, United Teachers Los Angeles, Black Progressive Action Coalition, St. John's Community Health, the National Lawyers Guild, the Weingart Foundation, and more. Space is limited, so if I were you, I'd register right now at KBLA1580.com. Your voice matters, your presence matters. We'll see you there.
We ask seniors how to prevent Medicare scams.
My best advice, if you get a phone call, do not talk to the person. These people are well-trained. Don't talk to them.
They don't know me. They're just trying to scam me.
Don't be fooled. Hang up. Just hang up.
Never give out your Medicare number.
They're going to get your number to put in a false claim.
If I get a call from someone, I don't pick up the phone. And should I pick up the phone and they ask for information, then I hang up.
How do you detect Medicare fraud?
Just like I check my credit card statements, I check my Medicare statements monthly.
Scammers can get a hold of your number, order medical devices through your account, and you're not even going to know about it if you don't look at your statement. Check your statement every month.
If you get your statement and you see something that you know you did not have done, you report it.
Call your Senior Medicare Patrol.
To report Medicare fraud, call the Senior Medicare Patrol at 855-613-7080.
We've got a lot to talk about.
I'm Reverend Gerald, the life coach. Is someone you love struggling with addiction and mental illness? Is improving your family's health important? Want to leave a legacy that your family can grow? Are you ready to enhance your perception of life experiences? Then wake up weekends at 7 a.m. with Urban Family Focus and get the wisdom, opportunity, resources, and motivation to live your best life. Join the conversation on Urban Family Focus Saturday and Sunday at 7 a.m.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
With Robinhood, not only can you trade individual stocks and ETFs, you can also seamlessly buy and sell crypto at low costs. Trade all in one place. Get started now on Robinhood. Trading crypto involves significant risk. Crypto trading is offered through an account with Robinhood Crypto LLC. Robinhood Crypto is licensed to engage in virtual currency business activity by the New York State Department of Financial Services. Crypto held through Robinhood Crypto is not FDIC insured or SIPC protected. Investing involves risk, including loss of principal. Securities trading is offered through an account with Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC, a registered broker-dealer.
You're listening to Jesse Jackson Jr. on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. Welcome forward to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show on KBLA Talk 1580. During the break, I got a call from my good friend George Wallace. Yes, no, not the one that stood in the schoolhouse door and wouldn't let African Americans in, but the comedian. And he's coming to town this coming Saturday at the City Winery. He has 2 shows. Both are sold out from 5 to 8. But he says he's coming in early, so he's going to kick it with me on Saturday night. And I want to thank our producer, Gina Towns, for an event that she's hosting for me on Saturday night at St. Patrick's on 147th and the Bishop Ford Freeway. I'm going to post that event on my Facebook page shortly. And I certainly want to encourage everyone to come participate, shake hands with my good friend, George Wallace. He's the funniest comedian in America as far as I'm concerned. And Farley Jackmaster Funk will also be at the event. With that said, I am honored that Dr. P.L. Da Silva and Dr. Sipes is on the show with me today, and I'm going to put them on the spot right now because, unfortunately, Johnny Mack will not be joining us due to travel, and John Lesiotis is going to join us in the next hour. So, Dr. Da Silva, it is totally your call. I know you'll touch base with Gina in the private chat. Both of you are welcome to stay for another hour because there's no way in God's earth we're going to get everything or even a small fraction of what Dr. Sipes knows in these next 2 segments. Dr. Sipes, welcome forward to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show.
Thank you. Very much delighted to be here.
I appreciate you. Dr. Da Silva, you might have a question.
Very, very happy to stay on for the extra hour, both of us. And what I want is some hope of how to organize, how to resist Trump. You know, what are we going to do if we have martial law? It looks like it's coming. What the hell are we going to do?
Okay, good question. Now, I don't have all the answers, but I got some thoughts on this. Now, what I was laying out before the break was that the labor movement, the official labor movement, in most cases, is doing nothing about whether the jobs here or supporting the struggle in Palestine or whatever. What the point I was getting ready to make before the break hit was that we cannot rely on the traditional so-called leaders of the labor movement. So, for example, you in Southern California have the leadership of the UTLA, United Teachers of Los Angeles, and one of the things that they've been doing is building power, educating their members, and things like this. And what I want to say is I think this is the way to go. that you've got to lay things out for your people, show why it's important, get them to understand and move. Now, this means for activists who are in unions that are not well led, like the UTLA, is that they need to find ways to get with other activists in their unions and try to change their unions. In other words, if we wait for leadership by the AFL-CIO and most of the official labor movement, hell will freeze over before anything happens. They have decided on a legal strategy. They are apparently filing legal suits. But once it gets up to the Supreme Court, they're probably going to lose. With the court we have. The point is that we've got to trust our members, and we've got to find ways to reach out to rank and file workers to get them to understand that we need to mobilize. They need to understand that Trump's not going to save their asses. And in fact, he's making things worse. And that they've got to depend on themselves and each other. And I think this is an important point, PL. They can't just wait around and say, well, our leaders will protect us. Nothing's going to happen. We have to take the initiative whenever possible to get together with our sisters and brothers, other working people, and try to get together, join with coalitions with different folks. So with civil rights groups, with women's groups, with gay and lesbian groups and things like this, because Trump is coming after all of us. He wants to. He has delusions of adequacy, and we've got to stop him, and we've got to find ways to mobilize people. So you can't just sit on your butt and let this happen. You have to be reaching out. You have to be talking. You have to be coming on the talk radio shows when you got the opportunity to talk about this. But there are things that we can do. The key thing is to not depend on the official leadership. That's the important point, in my opinion.
Dr. Seitz, I noticed that the polling suggests that the Democratic Party is more unpopular than it's ever been, somewhere around 26%. I guess it's kind of hovering down there between, well, you find somebody who's particularly unpopular and you put the Democratic Party right underneath them. So the question is organized labor kind of in the 26%?
I don't know if it's that high. No, I'm serious, Jesse. Most people, I live in Northwest Indiana, and I've been teaching here for over 20 years. Okay. And I have never been able to find 10 students to want to do a class on labor. And this is a region where everybody either has been in a labor movement or their relatives have. Everybody's been the steel workers, or the SEIU's got a few locals here. There are a few others, but basically this is a steel worker country, and I have never been able to get 10 students together to have a class.
I'm shocked by that, because historically the labor movement has been responsible in all 50 states for voter registration, for funding direct engagement. At least that's during the era that I remember, and in which I was taught with Reverend Jesse Jackson, my father, and his presidential campaigns and direct engagement in the midterms. The labor movement was there. And I was listening and reading some articles on the New York Times the other day that said the Democratic Party has essentially abandoned voter registration. And that gives me the impression that the labor movement has withdrawn its support of the idea of expanding democracy.
I think you're right. If they're promoting democracy, I'm not seeing it. It's that bad. If you go back to it, Jesse, now your father ran in 84 and 85,
84 and 88. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Basically, if you go back to 1981, when Ronald Reagan got elected,
Lane Kirkland,
the labor movement, you had some progressives that were backing your father and other progressives, but the official labor movement as a whole has not done anything in over 40 years. It's really bleak.
We only have a few minutes, and you're going to be with me for the next hour, but what have they been doing for the last 40 years?
Well, That's a good question. I mean, at the local level, you see some good stuff, but once you get up to the statewide, and California is an exception. You guys, your labor movement is still much stronger than probably any other state than maybe Hawaii and New York. So California, you have a different perspective than we do in the rest of the country. Basically, the labor movement's been a top-down operation, and the leadership has done nothing. But the one place they have done something has been very reactionary, and that is their international foreign policy.
Dr. Sipes, I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. on KBLA Talk 1580. When we come forward, we're going to pick up on that thought, and obviously we're going another hour when we come forward on the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show, KBLA Talk 1580.
While you're stuck in traffic, we can at least bring you up to speed on the news of the day. You're listening to Jesse Jackson Jr. only on KBLA Talk 1580.
JP Morgan Chase offers tips for the local business owners in 2025. Small business landscape is ever changing, and the Los Angeles market is no exception. A startup or legacy business, revisiting your mission statement and recalibrating offerings can renew opportunities for growth and innovations. Programs like Chase for Business Coaching for Impact gives entrepreneurs access to expert guidance, helping you streamline operations, strategize your growth, and navigate complex challenges. Businesses with a clear sense of purpose can navigate any challenge effectively, but also build stronger customer loyalty. Visit chase.com/coaching for impact for more information. This segment is sponsored by JP Morgan Chase.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. The Autopsy Initiative provides a second autopsy free of charge for victims' families who have lost their loved ones due to a police-related death. The services offered through the initiative include the completion of a second autopsy, disclosure of preliminary findings, and a final autopsy report. A police-related death is when an individual is harmed by police officers using deadly force, which results in an individual's death. Police-related death includes in-custody deaths, including those that arise during contact with law enforcement officers during arrest, pursuit, booking, transport, or incarceration. The Autopsy Initiative has a team of board-certified pathologists on call. An autopsy request may be completed by anyone with a close relationship with the victim, which may include the victim's spouse, partner, relative, close friend, or lawyer. To request a free second autopsy for a victim of police violence, please visit knowyourrightscamp.com. That's knowyourrightscamp.com. Then click on Autopsy, then click on Request. At KBLA, we believe in justice for victims of police violence. We say their names, and we don't black down. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy. In 2011, I founded Wesley Financial Group with one goal in mind: to help honest folks out of their timeshares permanently. Today, I run Wesley with my two sons, a real family business, treating every client and every employee like we'd want our own family treated. That philosophy has helped us grow into the largest, most trusted timeshare cancellation company in the United States. Fortune magazine even recognized us as one of the best places to work. Why? Because we genuinely care. In fact, some of our former clients were so moved by their experience working with us, they joined our team so they could help others to timeshare freedom. If you're stuck in a timeshare, give us a call. Let our family help your family.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit kit. 800-687-7979. That's 800-687-7979. 800-687-7979.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 is committed to self-care and community well-being. Walk Good LA was formed in June 2020, inspired by the Black Lives Matter movement and the beginning stages of the COVID-19 pandemic. What began as a few minutes of breath work and yoga meditation before protests against police brutality turned into a safe space for the community to heal in hard times. The immensely positive response from the community transformed the momentum into a movement. Today, Walk Good LA is a Black and Brown-led community wellness organization based in Los Angeles. They provide spaces for healing through community yoga classes, guided meditations, hikes, run clubs, and other activations throughout Los Angeles that attract hundreds of members weekly. With the help of Propel and Michael B. Jordan, they now have a yoga and wellness studio in Los Angeles called the Walk Good Yard. To join their mailing list and connect with healing spaces, please visit walkgoodla.org. That's walkgoodla.org. Or find them on Instagram at walkgoodla. This is a community call to action, a community call to healing from KBLA Talk 1580.
Now back to more of Jesse Jackson Jr. on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. You're listening to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show on KBLA Talk 1580, the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. Weekdays, 12 to 2 p.m. PST, 2 to 4 p.m. CST, 3 to 5 p.m. EST. Download the podcast. In this hour, our regular contributor, Dr. P.L. Da Silva, was Senior Advisor, United Nations Global Compact in the Executive Office of the Secretary General of the Secretary General Kofi Annan. Post 911, Dr. Da Silva was member of the UN Terrorism Committee in the Special Subgroup on Weapons of Mass Destruction and Terrorism, headed by Jayantha Dhanapala, Undersecretary General for Disarmament Affairs, and the Policy Working Group on the UN and Terrorism, chaired by Sir Kiernan Prendergast, Undersecretary General for Political Affairs. Now, I don't get a chance to go through all of Dr. Da Silva's resume on air, but clearly from the various portions of his biography that I mentioned, Dr. Da Silva, whom we've never really queried on the dark, shadowy world of covert and hidden operations, has an extraordinary knowledge of what's really going on. And then there's what you read in the newspaper. That's who Dr. Da Silva is. On this day, he has brought an exceptional guest to the Jesse Jackson Jr. program, Dr. Kim Sipes. Dr. Kim Sipes, in late June of 2025, was personally invited by the chair and secretary general of the Kilusang Mayo Uno Labor Center of the Philippines to attend their 13th National Congress in, I'm not even going to try to pronounce this, Baguio City, June 27th to 30th, which he did, and he was honored by being asked to give a talk to the Congress. In September of 2025, he was awarded the Golden Hoosier Award, honoring those over the age of, you want me to say this?
It's okay.
Over the age of 65 for their continuing contributions to the well-being of the people of Indiana by the Office of Indiana Lieutenant Governor. I want to welcome both of you gentlemen back to our program. We're having a fascinating conversation. Dr. Da Silva,
Yes.
there are many issues that you want to talk about with Dr. Sipes, and obviously we'll be joined by John Lesiotis in the next hour. Why don't we let you conduct us going forward?
Right. So the thing is this. Our viewership needs to be fired up. We need to be able to resist. It's coming down the pike. We don't have time, Brother Kim, to be sitting and organizing. We really don't have time. So we need to get up to speed fast. These Trump people have been planning and planning and planning this. And they know for a fact that if they go for the midterm elections, they're going to be smashed. They're going to lose hands down. So they're going to do what they can, hook or by crook, have martial law, stop the midterms if they can, and destroy democracy as we know it in this country. So How do we resist?
Peel, can I ask a question very quickly, both of you? Peel, let me ask a question both. How close are we, Peel, from your perspective, and then Dr. Sipes, how close are we to the invocation of the Insurrection Act?
They're actually talking about it now. We are very, very close. And given that, President Trump, in all his wisdom, he's been guided, he's been controlled by other forces, the Heritage Foundation in particular. And these people are using President Trump as a figurehead and are pushing through their agenda, which they have for taking complete control of this country. It's a fascist agenda. And it reminds me of the 1930s in Germany, which led to the rise of Hitler and Nazism. And things look bad for us in America. And it is up to us, like in the dark times when we had racist rule, especially in southern parts of the United States, that we need to resist. And in order to resist, we need to organize. To organize, we have to get together. And we have to get together all the disparate parts that are working or not working properly. So, okay, if the labor movement is not working, if it's dysfunctional, we need to get the parts of it that are moving, working together, to work with other people and other movements and unite, because unity is strength. And that's the thing that's going to see us through.
Dr. Sipes?
Well, I'm not quite as bleak as PL is. I think there's no question Trump and his people would like to invoke the Insurrection Act. The thing that has pleased me and has surprised me, to be honest, has been the kickback against this. That we've had the organization, particularly like in LA and your parts of the world where they fought the ICE folks. There's a lot of resistance going to ICE here in Chicago and things such as this. We have the No King's Day March, which is next Saturday, the 18th. And people are mobilizing in every state across the country. Now, I think the mobilization is important. However, I don't think mobilization itself is enough. I think we have to find ways to organize to where we can get together between mobilizations, that we can plan, we can educate each other and things such as this. I take it very seriously, but I don't think, I think they've been surprised at how much resistance there's been. I know the state governments in Oregon and Illinois have been fighting against this. There's been all kinds of different resistance, but it's for the ordinary people to get on the street. But not only get on the street, they have to organize so they can stay together between these mobilizations and work, like I said, on that way. But I take it seriously.
I think J.B. Pritzker and Brandon Johnson, the mayor of the city of Chicago, if you really want to shake this thing up and shake it up once and for all, give them both the Nobel Peace Prize.
Yeah.
I'd like the Nobel Committee to step in and give it to Brandon Johnson and J.B. Pritzker as profiles in courage. Men who have stood up against authoritarianism and their movement towards ending the democratic experiment. PL, what do you think about that idea?
I think we can then steal some of President Trump's thunder, which is what he's aiming for. He would like to have a Nobel Peace Prize, but
give it to the opposition.
but I think, hats off to them. Chapeau. I salute them for resisting and not giving in to President Trump and his machinations and all the people. The Stephen Miller is like Dr. Goebbels from Nazi times. I mean, he really is. He even looks like Goebbels. So So
and it's about the same size too.
I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. listening to Jesse Jackson Jr. Show on KBLA Talk 1580. When we come forward for another hour, our very special guests, Dr. P.L. Da Silva and Dr. Shipes, will be joining us when we come forward with John Lesiotis.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. Tensions are rising between President Trump and Illinois leaders as the White House considers invoking the Insurrection Act to deploy troops in U.S. cities. Trump blasted Democratic Governor J.B. Pritzker and Chicago's Black Mayor Brandon Johnson for failing to protect ICE officers.
I've seen the law, and when you have a group of people where the police call off the safety for ICE officials, I've understood that, and I've read it today in numerous journals, that's illegal.
Texas National Guard troops have already arrived in Chicago. Black House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries is slamming Congressman Mike Lawler, calling him a malignant clown and a total fraud after a heated Capitol hallway exchange over the Affordable Care Act. And a judge says Sean Diddy Combs cannot choose where he serves his 50-month sentence, but recommends placement near New York City in a substance abuse program. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Think It Up is an initiative to activate student-powered, teacher-led learning projects. Students and teachers, how can you spark great learning experiences in your classrooms today? Join at thinkitup.org.
Is this the time? This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Dodgers will have to play the Philadelphia Phillies at least one more time to advance to the National League Championship Series. The Phillies avoided elimination Wednesday night with an 8-2 victory at Dodger Stadium. Game 4 in the best-of-5 is today at 3 p.m. Laker legend Magic Johnson will be the Grand Marshal for the Rose Bowl parade on New Year's Day. Magic will lead the 137th annual parade on January 1st. Later that day, Magic will participate in the coin toss for a college football playoff quarterfinal game scheduled to be played at the Rose Bowl. The next time you go to the Lakers website, take a moment to watch a video called Forever Iconic, Purple and Gold Always. The 90-second tribute to the Lakers was produced by Natalia Bryant, Kobe's oldest daughter. The video was Natalia's first film project since she graduated from USC School of Cinematic Arts in May. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
Hello, KBLA delegation. Tavis Smiley here. On Saturday, October 25th, LA Trade Tech becomes the epicenter of ideas that matter. The Left Coast Forum is bringing together voices that challenge, inspire, and illuminate with keynote presentations from people like noted economist Richard Wolff, the man who breaks down capitalism in ways that make sense to working folk like you and me, and Dr. Cornel West will be there, the brilliant philosopher and activist who never stops fighting for justice and speaking truth to power and to the powerless for that matter. So this isn't just another conference. This is where ideas get tested, where the conversations that shape our future begin. Multiple plenary sessions, dynamic speakers, real talk about the issues that impact our communities, and then some good food and a live band. Saturday, October 25th, LA Trade Tech, Left Coast Forum. The event is free and open to the public, but you must register at our KBLA1580.com website, where you can also peep the plenary topics. The future belongs to those who show up and engage. So don't just think about change, be part of the conversation that creates it. The Left Coast Forum is brought to you by the LA Progressive, the Empowerment Congress, Community Coalition, Partnership for Growth LA, Southwest Voter Registration Education Project, LA Care Health Plan, United Teachers Los Angeles, Black Progressive Action Coalition, St. John's Community Health, the National Lawyers Guild, the Weingart Foundation, and more. Space is limited, so if I were you, I'd register right now at KBLA1580.com. Your voice matters, your presence matters. We'll see you there.
Jesse Jackson Jr. Welcome forward to the Jesse Jackson Jr. KBLA Talk 1580. It is our second Thursdays. And on our second Thursdays, John Lesiotis, one of my favorite hosts, drops in to share a perspective that's always outside the box. And I'm so grateful for his friendship. I'm so grateful that he's dropping into the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. John, welcome forward to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show.
Jesse, thank you so much for having me. And let me first start off by saying congratulations on your announcement yesterday.
Oh, wow.
I couldn't be more excited for you. I couldn't think of a more qualified candidate. And I couldn't think of a person who is more meant for this moment in history. So let's go get him.
Well, don't bring tears to my eyes, John, but I really appreciate that. I have so much respect for you. I have so much respect for your opinion. And one of the reasons that, I've been motivated to do this is if, in fact, I am successful, I pray and hope that Tavis allows me to bring our show to Capitol Hill. If I have to operate this show out of the back of my car with permission from the Ethics Committee out of my office, there is no way on earth that I'm giving up my friends. And I want to bring you all to the show. I want to bring some exciting guests onto the program. Gina has conceived an amazing show.
Yes, she
that
has.
brings real people to talk about real issues. And I'm so very grateful for your friendship. John, in the past hour, and joining us momentarily is Dr. P.L. Da Silva. He is the host of Worldwide with P.L. Da Silva on the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. And as you know, as one of the hosts every second Thursdays, Let's Talk About It with John Lesiotis. And we were having an amazing conversation with Dr. Kim Sipes, who is a leader of the labor movement and a scholar of organized labor, not only in the United States, but around the world. And I'm finding it so fascinating to listen to Dr. Sipes as he contextualizes the difference between the domestic labor movement and our politics, that little emphasis right there, with what the global labor movement is doing and saying, advocating and fighting for, and how the domestic labor movement is actually held political hostage of our politics. And so many of us as Democratic candidates count on the labor movement to provide the wind beneath our wings for the purposes of our independent voices. And what I am sitting here absolutely shocked by is Dr. Kim's analysis that ain't so. You are too close to being an American. You are too confined in your thinking. You must take a look at what the rest of the world is doing, how they view us, and the split in the labor movement. John, before I bring our guests from the previous hour back on, your thoughts?
It couldn't be more on target with what the labor union used to be, Jesse. It used to be very powerful, and it used to be really important for the Democratic Party in organizing, getting the message out. But I think I just read that we're at 9.9% union participation in America. It's the first time it's dropped under 10% in over 75 years.
And now, when you say 9%, you mean in political participation?
No, I'm talking about people, American workers that are part of a union now.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Well, that's a small labor movement.
9.9%. It's under 10%. And it was at a high, I believe, at 37%. Sometime in the 1950s. So when Reagan fired the air traffic controllers in the early 80s, it really set the tone for a downward spiral of union participation. And quietly, frankly, the way unions were viewed and looked at, they were demonized. And as such, they've lost much of their power, In the past, there were labor movements, the Haymarket riots in Chicago, obviously one of the most famous ones, but there's been labor stoppage, strikes, slowdowns. Labor has had powers throughout the years. When we were a manufacturing country, we no longer are, and labor has very little power remaining. So it's a tough one to work with labor now. I don't know how labor helps any type of social movements at this point.
You know, what's really interesting, I was, and I know that we'll be coming forward in just a moment before we bring, after this break, our guests back into the program. where I know there's going to be a spirited exchange and dialogue. I think about the contextualization that Dr. Sipes gave us and P.L. De Silva gave us, that the labor movement, for example, in California and Los Angeles, which is underneath and providing the wind beneath the wings of Gavin Newsom, that same labor movement does not exist in the other states at the level that it exists in California. So Californians may feel strong about Brother Newsom and the extraordinary leadership that he's showing at this pivotal hour in the future of saving our republic. The same movement may not exist, whether it is supportive of the governor, and I want to respectfully call him governor and not Gavin, which is the easiest and clearest way to call him. It just seems to me that we need to recognize that in the state of California and even in Los Angeles, the strength that we provide for Governor Newsom might be different in the other states where the same labor strength once existed but does not exist. And that affects, to PL's point, the organizing of the labor movement and the wind beneath Democrats in every single congressional district and Senate district in the United States. We're having an organizing conversation on the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. When we come forward, more with P.L. De Silva, Dr. Kim Sipes, and John Lesiotis on the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show, KBLA Talk 1580.
It's afternoon drive time with Jesse Jackson Jr. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
Dude, did you order the new iPhone 17 Pro? Got it from Verizon, the best 5G network in America. I've never looked so good.
You look the same.
But with this camera, everything looks better, especially me.
You haven't changed your hair in 15 years. Selfies? Check, please.
New and existing customers can get the new iPhone 17 Pro, designed to be the most powerful iPhone ever. With eligible phone trade-in and unlimited ultimate. Any condition guaranteed. Best 5G source root metrics data, United States, 1H 2025. All rights reserved. Trade-in and additional terms apply for all offers. See Verizon.com for details.
Ready to order? Yes. We're earning unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver card. So let's just get one of everything.
Everything? Fire everything. The Capital One Saver card is at table 27 and they're earning unlimited 3% cash back.
Yes, chef. This is so nice.
Had a feeling you'd want 3% cash back on dessert.
Ooh, tiramisu.
Earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver card. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Hey, KBLA 1580 delegation, your health matters to us. We know that information is power, especially when it comes to prevention and treatment. That's why we're proud to introduce the brand new KBLA Health and Wellness Hub. This online space is built just for you, connecting our community to trusted health resources, culturally relevant care, and even access to diverse clinical trials and emerging therapies. Whether you're looking for information on common conditions, mental health support, or just want to stay on top of your wellness journey, we got you. And the best part, it's all on our website at KBLA1580.com. Accessible, empowering, community-focused. So just go to KBLA1580.com and click on the Health and Wellness Hub icon, because knowledge is power and your health is everything. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Now back to more of Jesse Jackson Jr. on KBLA Talk 1580.
At the top of our show, Jesse Jackson Jr. Show, KBLA Talk 1580. In this hour, let's talk about it with John Lesiotis. We bring John Lesiotis up first, and our contributor, regular contributor in the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show for Worldwide on Thursdays with Dr. P.L. De Silva. We bring Dr. De Silva up to our program because of his extraordinary global contribution. And our very special guest is an expert on the labor movement, Dr. Kim Sipes. Many of these men need no further introduction in large measure because I've introduced them over and over and over again. So let's get right to it. John, these are our guests in your hour.
All right, gentlemen.
But everyone's here. John Lesiotis, this is Dr. P.L. De Silva and Dr. Kim Sipes.
Happy Thursday, gentlemen.
All right.
Thanks for
Glad to
joining
meet
us.
you, John.
Glad to meet you.
Dr. Da Silva, John, has a particular concern about the need and the urgency of the hour. Dr. King referred to it as the fierce urgency of now in terms of organizing and doing something. Dr. Da Silva, let me allow you to ask the first question of Mr. Lesiotis, and let's begin this conversation. Dr. Da Silva, I think your microphone is muted.
We have to replicate what our seniors have done before us. Our much lauded, our ancestors, in a sense, in the political struggle and for the lifeblood of this country. And we need to replicate what they were able to do in the civil rights movement, and we need to do it fast.
Yes.
The Heritage Foundation and all the people that they have got together to support the Trump agenda to destroy democracy in this country and possibly see martial law on our streets.
Yep.
This is something that we don't have time to sit and organize. We have to respond. And in order to respond, we have to get together. We have to unite the disparate parts of the peoples and organizations that are active, I repeat, active in this country. We need to get together, and it's unity in strength.
100%.
So that's what I would like to see happen. And if we can help, even in a small way, through the Jesse Jackson Jr. show on KBLA Talk, this is what we should do. This is something that we need to push. And Jesse, many, many congratulations on you coming to Congress. I pray most fervently that you will become a congressman in this era. We need you. We truly do need you. We need to fight fascism seriously.
I appreciate that very much, and I want you to know that I wouldn't even give it consideration if it weren't with you guys traveling with me. John Lesiotis.
Yes, Dr. Silva, thank you for your points. You couldn't be more on target with that regarding the Heritage Foundation. And I think the Federalist Society was another organization that's been picking our right-wing judges for the past 20 or 30 years. The major crux, as I see it, is money in politics, Dr. Da Silva. Ever since we made lobbying legal sometime in the 70s, and then we legalized Citizens United, I believe in 2010, we've totally opened the door to legalize corruption as our form of government now. Lobbyists control Washington, special interest groups pick and choose our wars for us. They dictate our foreign policy, our domestic policy, our trade policy. Our Heritage Foundation has set our social agenda, and our Federalist Society sets our judges. So we have lost complete control of the government by the people, for the people. And you are 100% correct in the urgency in this matter. You can see what's going on around not only America, but what's going on in the Middle East right now. We've got rogue countries that are disobeying international laws and are creating chaos on purpose. And we do need all the people to get together. And I think I mentioned it to Jesse, I think the faith community, the interfaith community, has to step up. The rabbis, the priests, the pastors, everybody that's involved, everybody. And it doesn't matter how you voted in the election. If you say you're a man of faith, there is no more important time to step up than right now.
Dr. Sipes, I served in the Congress of the United States for 17 years, and I actually counted on the labor movement to be the wind beneath my wings. That is, of course, the financial support to maintain a free and independent voice in this process. I'd like to think that I was an independent thinker, an independent Democrat, holding the party as well as the right wing accountable when I was in the Congress of the United States. And I'm wondering, in light of what John Lesiotis just said, whether or not this movement from a labor movement to a trade unionism movement, something has undermined the freedom that undergirds the elevation of our leadership within the Democratic Party, meaning they're no longer the wind beneath our wings. we're part of some kind of deal too. And you said for the last 40 years, it just has not been the same.
I think that's true. Going back, John mentioned the air traffic controller strike in 1981 being a real breaking point. It was. I mean, you can still turn to the labor movement that will provide money and resources for candidacy should they support that. But they're not educating their members in most cases. They're not mobilizing their people. They're not doing these things. And if they are, it's simply to get this candidate or that candidate elected and then go back to sleep until the next election. So it is one thing for you to recognize that they will provide money, again, depending on the situation. And again, California is very, very different from the rest of the country. But the idea of mobilizing people and getting out anything beyond the vote at most, I think is an illusion.
John, I should share with you that our producer, Gina Towns, from the great city of Gary, Indiana, not very far from Dr. Sipes, is insisting on coming into the program. She refuses to put her camera on, but she wants to come in by audio. Gina, we'd love to see you, by the way. So I'm going to hold up your camera right here so everyone can see you if you decide to come in by TV.
Thank you, Jesse Jackson Jr. This conversation is amazing, fascinating, and very scary at the same time. I wanted to pop in because John and I used to work together in a corporate setting that also housed labor unions. And the reasons why I wanted to talk about that is because I remember, and I don't know if you remember, John, it was snowing one year.
Yes.
And the electricians, the bill posters, the painters,
Yes.
and we were in the billboard industry at the time, and they went out on strike. They were blocking the entrance to the parking garage, and I drove up and I got out the car. In fact, I went and got donuts and coffee and gave it to them because I had built a really great relationship with our union house. I did government and community affairs. I was the lobbyist in effect. But I never wanted to cross their picket line because I respected labor. My mother was a school teacher in Gary, and when they went out on strike, it was a big deal. They would come to Chicago and meet with the Chicago Union, which was a powerful teachers union. It is amazing to me that I would move to Georgia and I couldn't find the unions. I was like, what is going on here? Like, the quality of what I'm getting, how people are dealing with me. And so there was a very big difference. And so what we're talking about also is an erosion of integrity and respect for labor, for learning a craft and being respected for it. And I think it is, I really had no idea that we had gotten to this point in our country with regard to that. And the guys would say, Gina, you better go ahead and go in. You're going to get fired. They're all upstairs looking at you out the window. And I was like, no, I'm not going in. I don't know if you were in the window that day, John, when I wouldn't break the line, but I did finally come in. But I just wanted to add that to the conversation, that there's a level of respect that I think permeates every aspect of our country, a lack of respect for authority and a work ethic that is a bigger problem.
Well, good. By the way, before someone responds, congratulations to the hardline phone experts for whoever's phone just went off on their hardline.
Yeah, yeah.
I've not heard that ring in about 40 years. Somebody's got a job. Making sure somebody's phone is still.
The guy blushing is guilty.
Anybody want to take a shot at what Gina had to say?
Yeah, I would just like to quick interject because I do remember the strike very well, Gina. I was the sales manager at the time, and it was an incredibly well-organized response by management against labor. The bill posters had worked on 3 years contracts. Business was incredibly good. Literally, we were sold out of billboards year after year. Profit margins were you wouldn't believe it when I tell you profit margins were 65 and 70% at the time. Yeah. And every 3 years, the bill posters would threaten to go on strike. Corporate would look at the bottom line and say, no, give them another raise, give them another raise. We can afford it. And the one year they decided not to do it anymore. And they hired a sharp legal firm out of Nashville, Tennessee. And they came in and had down a perfect plan. The union didn't know what hit them. The union would go out on strike. They blocked the gates. What they didn't know was the union negotiator for the company had already hired 30 replacement bill posters from around the country.
Wow.
Had brought them in a week prior to get them acclimated to Chicago, the streets, the roads. He took our sales staff, and the sales staff became chauffeurs for the new workers from out of town to show them all the locations. So here, the first day of the strike, and the union sitting there like, well, this ought to last a couple of days and we'll get our money. And the gates open up, and in come 15 vans with replacement workers.
Mm-hmm.
And they go out with, get the work done. We call up all the advertisers. We let them know that there's a bill poster strike, but we're going to get the work done. We got no backlash whatsoever from the corporate world. They were all happy with us. But what I learned in the whole thing, and Kim, you alluded to this, the communication between the management and the rank and file members of the union was deplorable. They did not know what was happening. The management would say one thing in negotiations and would tell the members something else. Because I, like Gina, stopped to talk to a couple bill posters, because these are people I worked with for 15 or 20 years. I knew them by first name, very friendly with them. And I would try to say, hey guys, what's going on? And they would say, well, the union guy said that. I said, that's not the case. So they were never given a full accounting for the negotiations. And finally, it was the Teamsters union that represented them. They finally decertified them, and all those guys lost their jobs. And they took back part of the bill posters on the company's terms, and the other half they terminated. So,
Dr. Kim, Dr. Sipes, let me ask you a question, because I know Gene's coming right back in, but I want to say this very quickly. I know the digital has got to be devastating. For example, the technological increases, Gina, are changing the idea of people hanging posters. I mean, those union jobs are gone. Anytime I can, from Oklahoma, send a signal to a billboard on 149th and the Bishop Ford Freeway, I don't need a billboard hanger, the human being who needs health care. Gina?
No.
Well, that is going to be AI. That's where we're headed with that. But what's very interesting about what John said, if you noted, people came in and took their jobs. And I saw that with the teachers one time, people who were willing to cross the picket line and go in and teach around the teachers union. And that's what I'm talking about when I say that there is a lack of respect for authority, order, and, people who have studied things. I mean, it's just, I don't understand that. You have to have order in society.
Gina, we've got about 2 minutes before the break, and I want to get back to PL on this question. All right, enough of this philosophy and scholasticism. Everybody has shown that PL says we need to do something, and we don't have time to organize. PL, why don't you sharpen that pencil for us? We're going to lose some good wood. Let's get to it.
I'd like to start from where Kim started, that the Southern European port workers unions are actually not loading ships bound for Egypt with weapons, period.
Yeah.
So the same thing that's been happening in the US, in the unions, lack of education, all of these things are happening in Europe as well. However, the members of those unions got together to stop loading vessels. So what's the difference between Southern Europe and what's going on in this humongous continent-sized country, the United States of America? Kim.
Well, I think one of the differences is just the small size, and then also the location of the nearness of the different countries. We're far away, for one thing. That's a big difference. The other thing is that the dock workers on the East Coast and the Gulf Coast are under a very conservative union leadership that supports Israel in its battle against the Palestinians. The AFL-CIO leadership supports Israel. There's nothing at the formal level that's opposing that. So that's one of the things that we're facing.
Dr. Kim, I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. on KBLA Talk 1580. When we come forward, I want to ask Dr. Kim also about these tariffs and what the real deal is of what's going on when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
It's afternoon drive time with Jesse Jackson Jr. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. Black Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass is highlighting major failures in the Palisades fire response as prosecutors announce an arrest.
There was an entire shift that was sent home that should have stayed on.
Federal officials say Florida man Jonathan Renderneck started a New Year's Day fire that smoldered underground before sparking the blaze, which killed 12 people and destroyed thousands of homes. School segregation in California has worsened over the past 30 years, with nearly half of public schools now over 90% students of color. A UCLA report says white and Asian students attend better funded schools, while Latino and Native students weapon detectors. News Now on
initiative to activate
Best of 5 is and Marshall for the annual parade. Later that will participate in the quarterfinal at the Rose Bowl. The next time you go to the lake, take a moment to watch a video called Forever Iconic, Purple and Gold Always. The 90-second tribute to the Lakers was produced by Natalia Bryant, Kobe's oldest daughter. The video was Natalia's first film project since she graduated from USC School of Cinematic Arts in May. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
Whoa,
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
Hi, I'm Jesse Jackson Jr., inviting you to join me weekdays at 12 noon, right after Tavis Smiley, here on KBLA Talk 1580. As a law school graduate and a theologian with a firm grasp of our body politic given almost 2 decades in Congress, my show is the fresh new home of an authentic, uncompromised quest for transformation and salvation, both personal and collectively, as I vigorously interrogate the theological and symbolic meanings embedded in our society. I promise to leverage my knowledge of history, theology, and both international and domestic issues to imagine an inclusive vision for the future, which I hope will inspire all of us to pursue life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness as a given, not just an aspiration. So join me weekdays at 12 noon, right after Tavis Smiley, for 2 hours of the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show, only on KBLA Talk 1580.
It's Cybersecurity Awareness Month. LifeLock is here with tips to help protect your identity. Use strong passwords, set up multi-factor authentication, report scams, and update your software. And for comprehensive identity protection, LifeLock is your best choice. LifeLock alerts you to suspicious uses of your personal information and fixes identity theft, guaranteed, or your money back. Start your protection today with a 30-day free trial at LifeLock.com. Use promo code NEWS. Terms apply.
With the new IHOP value menu, $6 is all it takes to go to your happy place, where stacks of pancakes with bacon and eggs are just $6 every day. French toast, sausage, and eggs are, you guessed it, $6. And fluffy omelets come with a side of pancakes and only cost $6. Go to your happy plates every day at IHOP. $7 in some locations. Available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
My ride smells just right, just right, just right, just right.
Y'all gotta try that Febreze car.
Just right, just right, just right. Yeah. La 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 la. With up to 40 days of consistency. All over Febreze car clips right on your vent. You know my car's my happy place. Keep that smile on my face. When it smells just right, just right, just right. Yeah. Breathe happy Febreze. La 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 la.
You're listening to Jesse Jackson Jr. on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. for the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show on KBLA Talk 1580. My very special guests in this hour, John Lesiotis. John Lesiotis is on our show. Let's talk about it on Second Thursdays. Also on Thursdays is P.L. Da Silva. Dr. Da Silva is one of the most knowledgeable contributors to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show on, well, quite frankly, the world that we don't see. There's the world that we read about in the newspaper, and there is the truth that he knows. He's brought with him today a very special guest, Dr. Kim Sipes, who is a critique, but also a man of organized labor, who's understood the history of organized labor, not only in the United States, but globally. And his contribution to our show, to our movement, and what comes next is extremely important. Gentlemen, welcome forward to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show on Worldwide with P.L. Da Silva, and let's talk about it with John Lesiotis.
Yes, if you don't mind, I'd like to ask or make a point to Dr. Sipes. He said, that the United States is distance. There's a distance between what's going on in the Middle East and over here because of geography. But actually, in this 24/7 information age that we live in, our living rooms are flooded with horrific images of little children being starved, being shot in the head, shot in the genitals, their habitation bombed, tents, 2,000-pound bombs dropped on tents, for God's sake. So how on earth can we say that we are sanitized from all the mayhem and the genocide going on in Gaza because we are a continent that is, oceans removed? I don't buy that. Because the same thing that gets the Italian workers or the Greek workers or the Spanish workers or even the demonstration, the 250,000 people that turned out in Amsterdam for the Red Line protest against the Israeli genocide. What makes us different or special?
I'll tell you what, Bill, and this is something as someone who has grown up in this country, we are taught that the United States is just another country, that we don't have any more power in a lot of ways than other countries, but that the only thing we need to focus on is the United States. We're taught that everybody wants to be an American, that this is the most favorite country on the world, and we're not taught about a global focus. And so for a lot of our people, and particularly those who do not get the opportunity or even the luxury to go to college and learn, is that you're taught that basically the United States is the only thing that counts, and we don't pay attention to what's going on around the world. Now, so that one, media also plays an incredibly important role in our country, and the media institutions don't want us to see that. So stuff that you are paying attention to, or I, or any of the four of us are paying attention to, most Americans don't pay attention to. And so that's an aberration, not the day-to-day reality. One of the things I've been trying to do within the labor movement is to get people to understand we have to have a global perspective. And in a global perspective, the United States is not just another country. We are the dominant country. We have tried to rule the world since at least 1945, and this has affected how Americans see the world. And it's very different than you and I, who have lived in other countries, who have traveled around the world, et cetera, et cetera. Most Americans do not travel overseas.
Right.
So most working Americans, anymore, you get maybe 2 weeks of holiday. And what do? They say, well, we've got this big, beautiful country, which it is, and they want to go here in the United States. They don't travel overseas.
Most Americans never travel more than 30 miles past their place of birth.
Yeah.
That's just how provincial and narrow Dr. Sipes is suggesting we are. Now, some people do. We visit the national parks, but most Americans are provincial and they're local.
Well, I think what Kim's describing is American exceptionalism.
Yeah.
We feel that we're exceptional, that we don't need to learn how to speak a second language. We don't need to learn how another culture may think or operate. It's more important for them to understand us.
Absolutely.
And I think that, in my mind, has led us to invade foreign countries, whether it be Vietnam or Afghanistan, and show no remorse, basically, for it.
Yeah, we think we're taught that our stuff does not stink.
Yes, you're right. Well, I just saw a commercial for a car company, and it was about being American. Don't ever be, stop being American, be loud, and, and just, crude, and just the whole thing. I'm thinking, wow, is that where we're at now? I mean,
So I need, we got about 15 minutes before the program, and that does include another come forward, which is our break. Let me just throw this out there. If Tavis Smiley ever needs a day off, which he never takes, I'm okay to do this one right here for 5 hours. We can start at 9 in the morning on West Coast and end at 2 p.m. Central Time. If Tavis ever needs a break, and I have just a little bit of opportunity to gather this group right here back together again so we can explore more in depth some of the issues that have been discussed today, I'm all for it. So I want the management at KBLA to know that I'm available for that. And I also want to add, though, that I think we're going to make some news here, right? There's going to be some movement from the idea that J.B. Pritzker and Brandon Johnson should be nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize, and Donald Trump wants a Nobel Peace Prize. So we're going to counter him with Pritzker and Brandon Johnson, which is towards the resistance. In the remaining 2 minutes in this segment, and then the last 9 minutes in this segment, gentlemen, help me sharpen the pencil on what we can encourage people to do towards PL's point that we got to do something right now. We ain't got time to set up no websites and no membership and no this and that to join something new. We need to do something now. J.B. Pritzker for Nobel Prize, Brandon Johnson for Nobel Prize. If that doesn't send a signal to planet Earth, I don't know what would. So let's get ahead of that.
Jesse,
to me, Dr.
Jesse, if I may. One of the things I've been involved with since we started in the spring of 22 is an organization called LAPIO. That's Labor Education Network for AFL-CIO International Operations. And you can find it by just the initials, LEPAIO. It's online. Google that and go right to that. And there's a number of videotapes and educational programs that we've put up about things about the history, the labor operation in Israel. There's stuff about South Africa. We've been educating workers about what's going on around the world, and we're trying to get more opportunities to speak and to reach out. But this website has got some good information there. So that's a good step forward as far as recognizing there's more to the world than the U.S.
Give us the URL for that website, Dr. Sipes.
It's just do LEPAIO in Google, and it'll come up and be the top thing, and just click on it.
LEPIO.
AIO.
Okay, I'm going to mess it up.
LEPAIO.
AIO. LAPIO.
Lapio. Okay, we're going to mention that a couple more times. Dr. De Silva?
Yes, I think we also need to get the vote out. No question. Even if President Trump tries to do a fast one and try to establish martial law, which will go half-cocked, I think, we still need to get the vote out. We still need to vote. Everybody who hates what's going on now needs to vote in the midterm elections. No question about it. And we also need voters to get Jesse Jackson into Congress.
You're about to get me fired. You're about to get me fired from the one little volunteer job I do have, PL. Listen, and John, listen, let me ask you a question about the midterms. Are we even going to have midterms? I'm Jesse Jackson Jr., and Gina's trying to tell me something. What are you trying to tell me? Can I answer this when I come back? But it's 3:46. We've got 4 more minutes before the 50. Oh, we're going to talk about it right now. Oh, we're live right now? I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. When we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580, more when we come forward with John Liciotas, P.L. De Silva, and Dr. Kim Sipes.
Hello, I am being interviewed.
While you're stuck in traffic, we can at least bring you up to speed on the news of the day. You're listening to Jesse Jackson Jr. only on KBLA Talk 1580.
Dude, did you order
the new iPhone 17 Pro? Got it from Verizon, the best 5G network in America. I've never looked so good.
You look the same.
But with this camera, everything looks better, especially me.
You haven't changed your hair in 15 years. Selfies? Check, please.
New and existing customers can get the new iPhone 17 Pro, designed to be the most powerful iPhone ever. With eligible phone trade-in and unlimited ultimate, any condition guaranteed. Best 5G source root metrics data, United States, 1H 2025. All rights reserved. Trade-in and additional terms apply for all offers. See Verizon.com for details.
My ride smells just right, just right, just right, just right.
Y'all gotta try that Febreze car.
Just right, just right, just right. Yeah. La 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 la. With up to 40 days of consistency, all over Febreze car clips right on your vent. You know my car's my happy place. Keep that smile on my face when it smells just right, just right, just right. Yeah, breathe happy Febreze. La 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 la.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. LA County's new Justice Care and Opportunities Department, or JCOD, is here to support justice-involved individuals and their families. The JCOD Support Center is now taking calls at 1-833-LACJCOD. That's 1-833-522-5263. Available 7 days a week from 6 a.m. to 11 p.m., the Support Center is your one-stop shop for re-entry issues and court support. They offer court reminders, connections to local services, transportation assistance for housing, court appearances, and childcare. The JCOD hotline provides personalized help to connect you with services that you need. And don't forget to check out justiceconnect.org for more information. Remember, it's free and available every day at 1-833-522-5263. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Lena Bloom for the Bail Project. Imagine you're stuck in a jail cell and you can't afford bail and someone offers you a way out. Just plead guilty and you can go home and kiss your kids goodnight. What do? What thousands have. You plead guilty whether you are or not. Cash bail makes poverty a crime. That's why the Bail Project helps those who can't afford it while fighting to end cash bail. Because freedom should be free. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
I can't believe how spotless my floors look after using the Swiffer Power Mop. No more dragging around a heavy mop and messy bucket. Now I get the same deep clean without all the work. Thanks to the powerful solution and scrubbing pad of the Swiffer Power Mop, dirt and grime don't stand a chance, and I don't break a sweat. Mic drop. Mop drop.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
A smarter way to mop. Try it or your money back.
Hello, KBLA listeners. This is Dr. Paul Wallace. I want to discuss a type of eczema called atopic dermatitis, which is often misdiagnosed in Black children and adults. Atopic dermatitis is an autoimmune disorder that can be accompanied by food allergies, hay fever, and asthma. This rash targets the inner arms, behind the knees, and face, but can go all over the body. It causes excessive dryness and 24/7 itching. It's the scratching and steroid use that leads to permanent scarring. I'm enrolling patients in a new clinical research study focused on better treatment options for atopic dermatitis. Of course, your medication and travel reimbursements are provided. To see if you qualify, visit dermstudies.com or call us at 323-296-0048. That's 323-296-0048. There's nothing worse than itching. Let's take the next step in controlling this problem.
Yeah, yo, come on. Pick up the drums.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we fight the power every day.
Yeah, gotta give us what we want. Gotta give us what we need. Hey.
I listen to KBLA and I love the commercials. I know what the commercials mean. I also, if I'm looking and trying to figure something out, I need something to talk to me that might hit me. And it happens on TV because, you know, every time they show a sporting event, they got the pharmaceutical companies back to back telling people how to fix the sickness on the same stuff that they sell them. So we get it.
Yep, we get it too, Chuck D. And that's why at KBLA Talk 1580, we don't black down.
Drop it. Our freedom of speech is freedom of step. We got to fight the powers that be. Fight the power. Fight the power.
Hi, I'm Jesse Jackson Jr., inviting you to join me weekdays at 12 noon, right after Tavis Smiley, here on KBLA Talk 1580. As a law school graduate and a theologian with a firm grasp of our body politic given almost 2 decades in Congress, my show is the fresh new home of an authentic, uncompromised quest for transformation and salvation, both personal and collectively, as I vigorously interrogate the theological and symbolic meanings embedded in our society. I promise to leverage my knowledge of history, theology, and both international and domestic issues to imagine an inclusive vision for the future, which I hope will inspire all of us to pursue life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness as a given, not just an aspiration. So join me weekdays at 12 noon, right after Tavis Smiley, for 2 hours of the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show, only on KBLA Talk 1580.
Now back to more of Jesse Jackson Jr. on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. Welcome forward to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. In all of 5 minutes, Gina Towns, our executive producer, has created an image which you can share. Come to the podcast of the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show of Brandon Johnson and J.B. Pritzker and the Nobel Peace Prize. Ooh, 21 to the Nobel Peace Prize for Brandon Johnson, the mayor of the city of Chicago, and Governor Pritzker for their leadership, their profile in courage in the resistance for the only known workable experiment in human history for the last 250 years, the American experiment. This is Second Thursdays with John Lesiotis. Let's talk about it. And Dr. P.L. De Silva, worldwide, where we cover planet Earth. And we have a very special guest whose personality is leaping right through the radio waves, Dr. Kim Sipes, whose knowledge about organized labor is something that I can't imagine that at age 60 I've lived without. Gentlemen, welcome forward to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show.
Thank you.
Dr. Sipes, let me ask you this question. What about a general strike? I mean, at some point in time, shutting down the airports of our nation, major transportation infrastructure, might be the only way to confront the authoritarian.
Well, it should be, but the problem is our workers, our union members, are not prepared for that. a general strike to be any good has got to be able to last for a while, and you got to know why you're doing it, and you've got to decide that that's what you want to do. And I don't think we're anywhere near that place. I hate to say it. I'll settle for a port strike on the East Coast of the Gulf, or a series of port strikes, shut down both of those coasts. But that's not going to happen because that union does not want it. It's a very different union than what you have on the West Coast, the International Longshore and Warehouse Union. Now, by the way, it reminds me, there is a book coming out that your listeners might want to check out. It's coming out the end of this month from Haymarket Books, and it's called No Neutrals There. It's about the AFL-CIO and Zionism, and it is good. I have read the book. I'm reviewing it right now. It will be out from Haymarket Books in Chicago, who does a lot of wonderful publishing. If you want to find out about the World Haymarket, it's a good place to go. And the book is excellent. It talks about how the leadership of the AFL-CIO has supported Zionism for over 100 years. And it's very detailed. It's written by a labor historian named Jeff Shirkey, who just brought out a book on their foreign policy, AFL-CIO foreign policy, following mine up and taking mine a little further than what I had done. So Jeff Shirkey's work is excellent, and it will be out later this month from Haymarket Books in Chicago.
We're going to try and get Jeff Shirkey on this show. John Lesiotis?
Well, that was certainly interesting, Kim, that information on that connection between the Zionists and the AFL-CIO. I had not heard that before.
Well, he details it, and he's really good.
Well, I can't wait to get my hands on it. And it kind of maybe goes to Dr. De Silva's point earlier about how we are intertwined with the other continents, that with modern technology and everything else.
Yeah.
And I would argue even further that our relationship with Israel, with not only the leadership, but the military and the surveillance has made us partners in what's going on over there.
Dr. De Silva, we have about 3 minutes before the end of the show. I know you have some thoughts, but I would also like you to incorporate the word of hope. So as you reflect upon the final thoughts that you'd like to offer for this conversation, please leave room for your thoughts on where we go from here.
Please God, we need hope in this country, especially. Yes. So the thing is, part of the being intertwined is also, the Israelis have been training our police forces and our military. I mean, there's been so much of exchanges. So all the terrible things that they're doing to the Palestinians, how they incarcerate them, how they tie them up, how they beat them, how they put the chokeholds, all those things are things that have been taught to us from way across from a tiny little country called Israel. And I mean, they're training our people to do terrible things to our people, like what they are doing to the Palestinians and to their own people.
Yes. Yeah. Trial run.
I'm profoundly concerned, and I say this as someone who has argued consistently for a two-state solution, someone whose family has been involved in the negotiations between Palestinians and Israelis, someone who genuinely cares about both people. Both histories matter in this process. What is taking place right now, however, under the Trump administration, well, in my opinion, it's just outside of the grace of God and human dignity and the standards that, regardless of our religious perspectives, serve as the foundation for civilization itself. There is no superior race. There is no, my father said in 1984 and 1988, there is no chosen race. There is only the human race. And that's what Jesus of Nazareth brought to the equation, the human race, that regardless of our race, our sex, our class, or our religious beliefs, you're all children of God. Tom Lesiotis, thank you for joining us today on your show.
Thank you so much for having me.
P.L. De Silva, thank you for joining us on your show.
Thank you very much, Jesse.
And Dr. Sipes, I can't wait until we announce that you have a show.
Well, hook me up. I'm game.
I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. on KBLA Talk 1580. More when we come forward.
Be well, everybody.
Thank you, baby, for getting me out.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.